Alright you guys, hello, and this is Blitzkrieg Gaming with another gameplay video. This is another video of me going against my brother. Currently he is the Mandalorian Empire, or in the original game he would be the Zam Consorption. Currently I am the Empire, before the Battle of Endor, of course. So it looks like I'm gonna take these 3 mines, he's gonna take these 3 mines. And there's actually really going to be no true contention here in the middle. Let's see. I got satisfactory defense. It's early in the game, so I really don't need too much of a defense. At this time, it would seem that after I've secured this, it looks like I accidentally... No, it looks like I did this purposely. I moved this up because I had to deploy here, and he moved it down probably because he wanted to send this as an early warning buoy, I guess if you want to say, early warning system, so if anything to come, it hit the Accamlator first. However, my ties were already here, so yeah, oh well for that. This looks like I'm the one that actually secured the middle, making the missile satellite defenses. Yeah, so it looks like that tie, the original tie, got destroyed, but it deployed a Tartan patrol cruiser as well as a TIE fighter squadron, which is, they're both getting wrecked. So, let's see what else. My main goal actually was to build several Tartan patrol cruisers, and then several TIE fighters. However, came to my attention that they suck, so at this time I'm actually just gonna fast forward until this gets to 100 or some. So what I actually did here is, as you can see, that's what happened. Alright, so what I did is I got this to move over here, so that way I can deploy my Venator-class Star Destroyer. And I had what's the word? I had a good plan because it would doesn't seem bad. Yeah, I should deploy it sometime right now. Yep, right here. Oh no, there we go. Yeah, this Venator was deployed. The guns are shooting at the ship. But yeah, this guy right here, Rex, the Accamlator, because it's only a support ship, really. It's a medium cruiser. It really doesn't do much. He did have 1 unit of fighters over here. Wasn't too sure what for though. But I do deploy another Accamlator here. Right here. Never mind. Because this does need a support ship. It can suffice by itself, obviously. It's a Venator-class Star Destroyer. However, I think having a support ship is definitely nice and enhances its own capabilities. Yeah, it's good for any fleet tactics, I would say. Well, yeah, of course it would. Now, at this time, I essentially conquered this, or in the process of. So in about a few moments notice I will actually have taken all of these mines, though I don't think that I build them till later in the end. I don't know why. I think maybe I was just getting so much money I just assumed that I got these. Yeah, I built these, but oh, never mind, I guess I do build them. Alright, so at this point I'm actually building, I'm starting to produce my assault fleet, which I hope to attack his base. And yeah, this is gonna be the fun part, so I'll just fast forward. And so what's gonna happen is that I can't remember, because it was a little while back when we actually fought in this video. We actually did battle against each other. Oh, I believe, yes, that's right. I had every intention of cutting off his income. And so I sent these two TIE scouts over here. But when I selected this, I thought I had deselected it. And so I selected this, inadvertently selecting all three of these and deployed them over here. But by the time that I realized that, and I got these for the specific purpose that they have increased speed and armor, it was too late. I diverted them to their appropriate course, but their Star Viper fighters and their A8 defenses on their space station was too much. So now what I did do is I did produce quite a few Venators and Acclamators. I was intending, of course, at first to do a Acclamator rush, which is, if for some of you don't know, perhaps I'll do a video on it for the next one. I think I will. Is essentially where you mass produce Acclamators and use those as your primary front of the line ship, even though it's only a medium-sized cruiser. Or technically it's a frigate, but it's definitely a cruiser. A light, I guess, if you want to say. But yeah, so here at this time we were just both saving up money, and it was actually my mistake for not using my Venators to attack him. Well, actually at this time I don't think that three Venators could have done the job. However, I didn't want to risk it. Yes, that's right, I remember now. So at this point he sent one fighter over, and in my mind I thought that was insignificant. I knew that he needed the space so he can deploy vehicles. However, I didn't think he was going to deploy Venators. I only had a Accamlator-class cruiser there in defense of it, as well as some various ships, 2 TIE bomber squadrons, 1 TIE fighter, and 1 TIE advanced. So he deployed 2 Venators. However, as I realized what he was doing, I decided to I predicted that he'd send his main fleet here in order to provoke me into deploying my entire fleet here instead of somewhere over here, so I can then attack his base, which was actually a fairly smart move. I did send this one over here to attack him. I thought it would cause some distraction, but in reality it didn't. But it was a nice diversion tactic. Perhaps if I added a few TIE bombers, I would have done much better as a diversion tactic, but alas, oh well. But yes, so I do deploy another Venator. What I do realize at first is I select both of these Venators and I intensify all forward firepower on this one Venator class, but he deploys another one, and thus in return I deploy another one, and he deploys 2 more. And in my frantic, I deploy all of my support ships in appropriate, as when you're rushing a battle, appropriate positions in order to assist my in order to act in support of my actual main capital ships. So if you can see, definitely it is quite intense. At this time I start beginning to build more Venator-class Star Destroyers, but it truly is just a massive point-blank battle, just of heavy cruisers attack. Oh my god, yeah, there we go. Of just attacking each other. Of course, I think it was smart of me to definitely deploy these Venators, but I think my main, actually he had more Venators than I. However, I believe his the reason of his downfall, of why he lost this battle, for example, he just lost, correction, I just lost this Venator. Looks like at this time he's not focusing firepower on this Acclamator class, this newer edition of an Acclamator. However, looks like I got one more. I'm not completely sure where I deployed. I think it was somewhere over here. However, I think it's definitely his mistake for not deploying more. Yeah, let's see, I knew it was over here. for not deploying more support ships. So he actually would have done good if he had just spent a little more time, maybe at least 2 support ships. Then at least this battle would have lasted longer than it actually did, because he just simply didn't have enough support ships. Of course, as it's a capital ship intense battle, I'm the only fleet that actually has any support ships of any kind. In fact, I had 4 or 5 to begin with, if I can recollect. And as a result of that, there's an intense starfighter battle as well, which only adds to the magnitude of the beauty of this Star Wars series saga, whatever. But yeah, and so noticing that he deployed a Mandalorian Battlecruiser, which is essentially a prerequisite of Imperial Star Destroyer, I decided to deploy another Venator, I believe, or I just push up my regular Venators. At this time, I decided to push up my support ships, my fighters and bombers that stayed in the back, just push them forward into the battlefield. He actually is beginning to lose his fighter superiority, and which is not a good thing actually, because I noticed that he has some bombers left. He does have a Spitfire, I think that's Spit Ray or something like that, fighters, which is the same one that Boba Fett used, but this is used in a greater multitude, which is actually doing quite significant damage to my TIE fighters. TIE fighters are quite cheap actually. However, I think there's just too many TIE fighters, bombers, and advanced TIEs for them to deal with. Now at this time, I decided to take these 2 supports and move around to its right flank, and this Accamlator over here, in order to execute a pincer movement, because I knew this Venator was going to die over here. So I pushed this forward and I deployed another Venator, though at this time I do believe that he realized that yeah, as soon as he lost this, I believe he did realize that this was a lost battle. Actually, I think he realized earlier that this was a lost battle. I think, and we had a discussion afterwards about why he lost, and it was definitely, we came to the conclusion that he had not enough support ships. In fact, he had not even a support ship. My fleet was definitely the better prepared one. It was good that I used the Acclamators. If he had smaller ships like Nebulon B frigates or Assault Frigate 2s of the New Republic or the Rebel Alliance, then I would definitely say that there would be a good battle. Like, it would be the Venator-class cruisers, which would be the frontline ships, not Venators, which are more of a medium-sized cruiser overall. But it's not a bad battle that we actually had here. Right now I'm just sweeping up some of the remnants of his attack. Now at this point, we were actually in different rooms when we were having this battle. So at this point I just left the computer and went to him and started bragging. And I asked him, how could he lose such a battle? And he's like, I don't know. I deployed my entire fleet there, and I would assume that I'd win because I had not expected you to build up such a large fleet. And so he didn't want to he didn't want to taste the bitterness of defeat, so he decided to quit, which I thought was whatever. But that was actually the accumulation of all of our buildup of the arms race between us. Let me guys know. Let me know, you guys and gals, what he could have done better. What ships do you think, according to this mod that it has, yeah, what ships should he have used? If he had used the same setup of the fleet that he had, what support ships do you think he should have had? Do you think, what should I have done in order to win? Let me know, like, comment, subscribe. I hope you guys have a good week. Peace.